All right. If you've made it this far, you're crazy. You're amazing. And I appreciate the interest. It's around this time that I really start bringing it all together here. I'm still developing the Blau idea. I've got all my notes here. Um, I'm still working on characters within the Blau universe, and I think at this point I'm working at Sony and meeting a bunch of new great artists, and it's there I feel like I my art really kind of evolves into something completely different. Um, uh, it's like I start really feeling and loving what I'm doing. I feel less frustration. I'm incorporating new techniques. Um, and all of that stuff, I'm just basically, you know, I'm, you know, I'm applying that to my ideas, you know. So here we start seeing flourishes. There's some Blau at the top and some waveform right here. Um, and we get more Blau stuff. This would have been the sequel to the Blau books, which would have, it was called Black Halo. And I start reworking some of the ideas in the characters for Blau. And at the same time, I'm exploring, you know, and I'm just kind of really feeling what's possible, you know. Uh, I'm doing more boarding at this point, which I totally avoided boarding because it was such hard work. But it was so important uh, in being able to do what I'm doing nowadays is learning how to board, figuring out composition, what's going on panel to panel. All of this kind of fed into, back into comic books and developing my own style of storytelling. Uh, yeah, there's a lot of pencil work, a lot of inks and wash, and a lot of just exploration here. There's some more Blau stuff. At some point, this is like close to final Blau redesign. Every once in a while, I'll throw in a Batman just to see where I'm at in comparison to what other people are doing. I've always loved the Batman costume. Here we get the first parts of Almighty. It's here that we start figuring out things about characters and how I want to approach them and the look. There's Fail at the top there, and she attacks these guys with the guns. A scene that's basically, that takes place in the first issue, but it's completely different. My approach is completely different here than what I would later do. She's using a sword and a gun, and she's got long hair. She's a little bit more femme. And we're just exploring, just sort of stream of consciousness, stuff that would later be fit into panels. But I wanted to just have a stronger idea of action and what I wanted to accomplish within the story. Yeah, we continue exploring Almighty here. Yeah, yeah. Fail loses her hair here, but she's still kind of femme. Using a lot of brush pen. Exploring. Now we're back to Blau. I'm going back and forth with Blau and Almighty. Eventually, I would choose Almighty because with Blau, it had become so precious that I wanted to kind of figure out. I wanted to make all my mistakes on a character that didn't matter as much as Blau. So that's when I pulled the trigger on Almighty. All right, moving on.